Welcome to another 5-Minute Flip.
What is up, Flip Eponymai? Welcome to your 5-Minute Flip for July 24th, 2025. 5-Minute Flip and the Flip Side podcast brought to you by Angry Brew and Five Lakes Coffee. Got to give them a shout out here as I'm on my break from long form episodes. Thank you to Angry Brew for the support. Today I want to talk to you about phones and technology, and we'll just see where this goes. I'm not going to give you a bunch of statistics, which they're all out there, about the level of anxiety and depression that phones give us. I just want to give a couple of, or the amount of time that we use them in a given day, the amount of hours that we use them in a given day. I want to give some personal anecdotes just to kind of help. I think phones are one of those things, and I'm talking about technology as a whole, particularly smartphones, as it relates to us as adults, as it relates to our kids, as they get to the age of getting phones, and as it relates to young adults. Phones are one of those things where we as a society have just accepted them. This is an inevitable part of society now. It's like breathing air. You know, it's kind of like the car, the automobile. It's just a part of society. What are you going to do? You're going to be Amish? Are you going to have a horse and buggy? You have to have a car to get around, or you have to use cars to get around. Whatever, it's just, and that's understandable. I'm not saying that you have to live without a smartphone. I think those that do, it's fantastic. I think those that are using flip phones or whatever it may be, there's so many pieces of even just having a cell phone that are bad for us, and that where back in my day, when there weren't phones. I mean, I didn't grow up with a cell phone at all. My first cell phone was when I was 21. I graduated as my first job. I was a youth pastor, and it was not a smartphone. But even that, it changed society. You're now available all the time. You used to not be available. You were at work, and you'd get called at work, and if you weren't at work, you were not available for people. People didn't. Maybe they had your home number, maybe they didn't. But your work's probably not going to call you at home unless it's an emergency. And at home, if you weren't home before the days of answering machines, way back in my day, then the phone just rang, and there was nobody could get a hold of you. And then answering machines came around, and you could leave a message, but certainly there's going to be a delay, on getting back to it. It wasn't instant. And now, I mean, you're on vacation, and you're going to get 10 text messages a day. Some of them are going to be relating to your work. And what are you going to do? Are you going to just ignore those people, and they're going to think, excuse me as I take a drink of Angry Brew here, are those people going to think, oh, this person doesn't like me, they're not writing me back? Or if it's your job, then there's some kind of job thing on the line when you're supposed to be taking a break, et cetera, all those sorts of things. So we all experience that with having phones in general. And I want us to stop and pause when it comes to smartphones. And first of all, I want to say I definitely think there's more harm than good that these things do to us. Again, I have one. I'm not just ranting about how bad they are. I really want to caution parents when it comes to your kids. I think what I observe is, as parents, and we're going to talk about us as adults too, we're certainly not off the hook, but as parents, we think, oh, well, there's nothing I can do about this. There's so much pressure for my kid to have a phone. All their friends have phones. And so, we reluctantly give them a phone, and we think it's like being in the ocean where the tide is going to come in and hit you, and it's like, well, they'll just deal with the consequences later. Kids are resilient, they'll be fine. We have this really naive attitude when it comes to phones, and this includes pornography. Certainly something I talk about a lot on the podcast and my book Beyond the Battle and the groups we run. And so I have a lot of experience with, my generation. We all got the internet when I was in middle school, and that was sort of the attitude. There was a naivety amongst parents and churches that, one, my kid would never look at pornography. So there's just a lot of my friends had computers in their rooms, whether it was in the living room or not. Certainly, I was still accessing it out in the living room. But this idea that my kid would never look at that, I don't need to worry about it. I don't need to talk to them about it. I don't need to put, software on a computer that might prevent that. Or there's this attitude that I see now, and I think I'm sure back then too, like if we don't talk about it, it will just go away. So yeah, maybe my kid is becoming addicted to pornography. Maybe pornography is warping their brain and ruining or damaging, I should say, the way they view sex and men and women for the rest of their lives. That's going to take some serious repair work for the small percentage that are actually willing to do the repair work and, deal with these issues. Sure, it's maybe going to ruin their marriage someday or spiral them into this, depressive cycle of addiction, whether single or married. But you know what? Let's just not talk about it. Let's just never talk about it. We'll just leave everyone. You have to have a computer, and you just kind of have to you have to be very this cultural expectation that we are to be passive as parents in this case about what our kids are doing. I think my generation, many of us were raised pretty strict. In some respects, not necessarily with computers, as I was just saying, but I would say we've swung the pendulum where most parents, including us, we are less strict than our parents were. My generation of parents are much less strict than our parents' generation was. And so in that, there's this unspoken culture that I can't really stand up to my kid. I can't really put boundaries on them. Because their friends' parents aren't doing those things. And so again, we have to give them a phone because there's so much pressure. And I'm telling you, your kids get into middle school, and getting that phone is like I mean, drugs is a bad example because it's a good and bad example. It is totally a drug, but like a sixth grade kid doesn't even know that. So to a sixth grade kid, it's like getting to live at Disney World. I mean, the anticipation of this. So I get the pressure that's there, and there is research done on when your kid should get a phone and when your kid should get on social media. And the ages are much later, 16, 18, etc. Your child's brain is still forming. The phone is malforming their brain. I do not think that this 1 5-minute flip is going to change that as far as the trajectory of our culture. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose of it is for you as a listener. Perhaps I know you, perhaps I don't, but I care about you. I care about your kids. And if you don't have kids, this certainly is going to come back around. We're going to talk about it for us as well. But I want you as a parent to know that this is on you. I really think that phones... Yes, I'm talking about pornography, but to finish that thought, way more than that as well. Phones, the addictive nature of phones. Kids are so addicted to phones. Just their faces are buried in their phones, and it's video games, and it's TikTok, and it's just sending stupid pictures to each other on these group chats. And every time they do it, they get this hit off of it, and these hits just make them more addicted to the screen. And what it's doing is as they get more and more addicted to this fake world of the phone, and let's be honest, it's making them stupider. I mean, the stuff they're doing it's not even that stimulating to the brain. It's not like this really hard to do puzzle or this really well-made movie or this really well-written book. It's really dumb stuff that is satisfying them for hours and hours and hours. Anyway, well, you get the point. That for us as parents, it is not okay to just give them the phone, kind of like giving them a machine gun and just going, oh, I mean, everyone has a machine gun or everyone has a chainsaw that they're giving their child. And if something happens, I mean, what am I supposed to do about it? That's just not okay. I think that this generation, it's already happening. It's been happening for years, and now you're seeing it. I know of a young adult who shared in a testimony sort of way that they said, I used to look at TikTok 10 hours a day. Okay, just think about that. I used to look at TikTok 10 hours a day. I mean, wow. Like it's not just one person that's doing this. I know of multiple young adults right now where they are in this stage of life where they should be very motivated to whether it's in college and earning a degree so that they can get a career someday, and or it is getting a job now and working their tails off in order to kind of this connection that humans have always had, that I need to work in order to pay my rent. I need to work in order to earn something. Kids have grown up in these sort of privileged homes and or with really passive parents, even in not financially privileged homes, but where a parent is super passive and they just give the kid the device. And this idea that I graduate high school and need to get a full-time job to pay my own way, or I need to go to college and work hard, it doesn't even compute when I'm living at my parents' house for free and I still have all my devices, my screen, my phone, my tablet, and I can literally just stare at this screen all day doing the stupid stuff on the screen that is keeping my brain occupied. And I'm terrified. I'm terrified for this generation because their brains have been shaped like this through their entire adolescence. And one 5-minute flip that they're not listening to is not going to change that. And frankly, neither is any book, like the Anxious Generation book, which is excellent. I haven't read it, but just is talking about all of these things. Or John Mark Comer's book, I never get the name of it right, the Relentless Pursuit of Hurry, because that is not correct. But you know the book I'm talking about. I wish that the title stuck in my ADHD brain better. I hope you're laughing if you know the title of that book. It's very good. The Relentless Pursuit of Unhurry? No. His book is excellent, talks about all these things. None of that is going to change what 99.9% of kids are doing. So I'm saying this to you, if you're listening to someone I care about and love, to be very proactive as a parent, to delay as long as possible giving your kids phones, particularly, that are giving them access to social. Separate to that, I mean, even just access to texting. I want to be careful how much I share, publicly about people I know and my own family and things like that. But you can be in 5th grade and have no idea what texting is for. And you have all of these big emotions and can get in a lot of trouble with friends and things like that. And just please do not be naive about the phones situation. So what are some solutions to this? We use an app called Family Link. It's made by Google, and it is wonderful. So my oldest daughter, who's 13, does have her own smartphone. Family Link allows us to put in exactly how many hours per day she can be on the phone, and then it will stop working. It has the time of the day in the morning and at night when it stops working, and then we can also just push a button at any time to black it out, to lock it, to make it stop working. And it drives me nuts. I see parents, hey, put your phone away. Hey, do this other thing. Hey, stop being on your phone so much. Hey, like the parent is just this passive kind of voice in the wind. Please, will you please? Like, you can get Family Link and push a button that locks their phone out, and that's it. Like, that's it. You need to do that as a parent. Other things you can do. My daughter has an Android. We do that on purpose, and with Covenant Eyes and Accountable to You, which I use for monitoring pornography, monitoring other things that I don't want my kids seeing. And on my website, noahfilipiak.com/software, I have promo codes if you're interested for 30 days free of Covenant Eyes and Accountable to You, as well as an explanation of how those work. I want to see everything that my daughter is seeing on her phone. I want to see the things that her friends are texting her. There is a form of sexual abuse that pornography does to kids, and we have a responsibility to keep our kids away from sexual abuse as parents. And if we aren't, then that's on us. Then we are is complicit in their sexual abuse. And I know that's strong to say, but we need to wake up, like seriously wake up. And what I mean is, in abuse with a child, their brain is seeing something it's not developed enough to see, and so it creates trauma. And pornography does the same thing to the brain of a child whose brain is developing, and then they're perhaps even orgasming, to this image. Like this is bound to happen to your kids. Again, a shout out to my book, Needed Navigation. It's a book for teenagers, guys and girls, to help them navigate through that, to help you as a parent navigate through that. And so, this is just to say we really need to stop being passive. And maybe it's just this is a wake-up call for some of you as parents, if perhaps it's coming at the right time. I also will refer you to the website, organization, ministry, Protect Young Eyes has a lot of great resources out there. I'm going to wrap this thing up. We're about 17 minutes here. Give me one more minute. And I just want to say for us as adults, as parents, we are not off the hook. The Facebook addiction, the social media addiction is real. I have it. I mean, don't act like you don't. Please do things to put boundaries on yourself. So I have an app on my Android. I choose Android on purpose because of it gets better coverage with Covenant Eyes and Accountable to You. I also can have an auto reply on my Sabbath. So on my Sabbath or vacations, you will get an auto reply that says, I am on vacation or on my Sabbath and not available. Shout out to my Android for being able to do that. But for us as parents, I use an app called Digital Wellbeing on the Android. I have a Samsung Galaxy. I know iPhone does something similar, but I go into my Facebook and Instagram and I give it a 6-minute limit for both apps for the day. So I've got about 3 minutes per app for, like, I call it dumb scrolling and doom scrolling. And if you're doing a lot of dumb scrolling and doom scrolling, I promise you that is not good for you, and it's not good for your life. It's not good for your family. It's not good for your marriage. It's not good for your singleness. And that's time you should be investing in people, not in your phone. We develop these. The amount of time we invest in our phones, blocking everybody else out, it creates isolation in us. It creates isolation in our relationships. But it's not enough to say, one, I'm not addicted to it. Yeah, you are, the amount of hours you're spending on it. And two, to just say, I've got the willpower, to not do it. Go on a fast. Like, do a fast from whatever app you're obsessed with, social media, YouTube, whatever it may be. And in general, technology as a whole, could Netflix, YouTube, all of this stuff, like, just you're watching all these funny videos. All of this stuff, it takes us out of reality and into a fantasy world. And the thing we need most, for those of us that are overcoming lust, fantasy, pornography, for those of us that struggle with anxiety, that struggle with depression, for those of us that struggle with contentment, what we need most is to live in reality. What we need most is to appreciate reality. It's to learn to be present in the moment. And all of this type of technology takes that away from us. All of this type of technology, it conditions our brains away from reality and into that fantasy space. And so, you can't get rid of it, but minimize it, put boundaries on it, have accountability set up. I just want this to be sort of perhaps a prophetic wake up. You don't have to be passive in this. Be an active agent. Take control in your own technology use and in the technology use of your kids. So I hope this is helpful. I hope it's encouraging. Thank you for listening to this 20-minute, 5-minute flip. I know they're not 5 minutes, guys. It's okay. It's okay. It's a catchy name. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to re-record the sweet intro that I paid money for. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time on the flip side.
Thanks for listening to this 5-minute flip. Subscribe for more flips and long-form episodes of The Flip Side. Visit www.patreon.com/NoahFilipiak to support and get sweet Flipside swag.